everyone, Just Average here, and today I'm going to be trying a bit of a different kind of video, different from my normal gameplay videos and challenge videos. Today it's just going to be an unscripted video where I just talk about my opinions on the new Fortnite Ballistic mode. And in the background I'm going to be running a really good game that I got where I got 24 kills and unfortunately 10 deaths, and we ended up losing that match because my teammates were all a bunch of goobers. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Real quick, I just want to start off this video with a lot of positives of the mode, things that I really like about it. Firstly, gotta give props to the first person. I think it's really smooth. I just love the way the movement feels. All the gun models look amazing. The animations look so smooth. And the fact that I can see my character's hands, the visitor, my main skin in first person is just so sick to me. And I'm not one for using weapon wraps, but this gives like a whole new reason to use weapon wraps. I tried a few out and they just look beautiful on these guns. It's one of the coolest things to look at. But I've always been a more simplistic kind of person who would just use a bland ass gun because I like guns. Another positive of this mode is the whole buy system, and I know it's very reminiscent of something like CSGO. I genuinely think it does make for each match to be quite different. Like, sure, there are metas, but like if you're losing like consistently, you're dying a lot, you're not gonna have enough money to afford your favorite meta gun, or you gotta like ration your money and only buy like one flash grenade instead of two, and then whatever your utility item is. I think it's a good dynamic feature in this mode. Another great thing about this mode, okay, maybe not great, but good, a solid start to this mode is the map design. Now, I know we were just handed a 3-lane map. That is the most generic, most competitive first-person shooter type of map you can get. But to be fair, this is a search and destroy type game mode, and I think 3-lane maps will always work the best in a search and destroy type game mode. Anything else is probably pretty lopsided, at least without proper balancing. This map is a pretty solid start. Now, what we have to hope for is upcoming maps aren't entirely just 3-lane maps. If all the maps feel the same, then this mode doesn't stand a chance. But currently, whatever this map is called, something 10, Skyline 10, I think, it's a very solid start, and oh my gosh, does it look beautiful. I know I play on performance mode, but I still love looking at this map. I honestly want to run it on higher graphics just to see what this mode is like on better graphics. And then a few minor things that I really like about this mode is the little like Fortnite touches. Like you're not planting a bomb, you're planting a rift beacon device or whatever it is. It's pretty cool. And like the fact that they kept the impulse grenade in, which is really fun, or the shield bubble. Now they did give them a more realistic touch, but I'm all for it. It's pretty cool. You can definitely tell this mode is trying to stray away from what Fortnite's identity actually is, and that's actually something I'll get into a bit more in the negatives section. But I mean for now, if you like realism, then this mode's pretty cool. Now on to some of the negatives, and honestly it's really quite disappointing to me. I mean, I feel like this mode just had so much potential, right? And like Fortnite really dropped the ball with this mode. I mean, when you think of Fortnite, with the exception of maybe early on in the first chapter, you think of fast-paced, high action. It's not a very slow game in almost any game mode. So like when I heard they were releasing a 5v5 tactical mode, the first thing I thought of was something along the lines of like Call of Duty, and I knew it would be more similar to like Valorant or CSGO, but I thought it would take aspects from those games and add like a Fortnite spin on it and make its own pace. The biggest problem with this mode right now is that it does not have its own identity. The guns, none of the guns are Fortnite guns. They do not feel like Fortnite guns. They do not play like Fortnite guns. From what I've heard from my friends and people that I've played with, they're an exact ripoff of like CSGO or Valorant, where picture this, in Fortnite Battle Royale, you have a gun with an optic, right? You ADS with it, that means aim down sight for some people who don't know the terms. It's got, if you try moving while ADSing, it'll have massive bloom.
What the heck is that?
Okay, wow.
Just tell me what bloom is.
And you walk. right? While you're aiming and walking, you know that bullet will go exactly in the center of that optic. The new Hollow Twister AR, that thing is really good, and it's good because you can kind of strafe around while you're aiming down sights and just shooting at the enemy. In Ballistic, it doesn't work that way. If you aim down sights and you walk, you get bloom on top of your reticle, and you can't even see where the bloom is. There's like no way of controlling it. It just goes from 0 bloom, and then you start walking and all the way up to like 100 bloom. It's terrible, and it makes guns sort of like the Reaper Sniper unusable. Like, look at this clip where Ninja thinks he's missing all of his shots, even though his crosshairs are right on the enemy.
Okay. I'm missing all these, dude. No shield.
It just makes no sense. It's super clunky. And I just don't think this was the right move for Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite has been working on, for like the past, what, 3 years now, a really, really good movement system. And it feels like they're just throwing it all out the window with this new first-person mode. And the only reason I can think of is just to completely copy successful games like CSGO. They just don't have the capacity to try something on their own, to use their own movement system in their own existing weapons to make a fun mode, which is another minor point that I have. I'm okay with this mode making its own guns, but imagine if Ninja got a low table fade. This mode had iconic Fortnite guns like the OG Scar, the Spas 12, the bolt action sniper, all in first person. It would do wonders in setting this mode apart from the other generic shooter games out there already. Like, I think this mode would be infinitely better, even if it used the Chapter 5 weapons with bullet drop. And I know they use the Chapter 5 models, and they look amazing. I love the gun models in this mode, but I just cannot deal with the fact that they're so inaccurate when you move around. I don't see where the skill is involved when, like, you and an enemy are having an aim duel, and you both have to, like, stand still to ensure that you can hit your shots. There's no jumping around in shooting. There's no strafing in shooting. I know damn well this is probably just not my kind of game with the pacing, and some people may really enjoy this, but the kind of search and destroy that I'm used to is something more along the lines of Call of Duty, where you can move around and shoot. I don't even think it has to be to the extreme of Call of Duty. I mean, with Call of Duty, you can ADS and jump at the same time. And it's Call of Duty movement is insane, and it doesn't have to be like that, but it just has to be better than it is now. I really wish Fortnite would just use their own guns. One point I have, no matter what your opinion on the mode is something that objectively needs to be fixed, and that is the matchmaking. In its current state, this game mode basically forces you to play ranked if you want to have a normal, complete, good competitive game. And that's for a few reasons. The first one, if you try and queue into a public lobby, there is over an 80% chance that you queue into a game that's already in progress. And it's not just like 1 or 2 rounds that have passed by. I have had games where I queue in and the score is literally 5 versus 6. Like, that game is over. There's nothing for me to do there. And I don't even know if I spawn with any money. Like, do I just have to play with a pistol for the next round? Because I ended up backing out of that game. I was not playing that. Also, in public lobbies, you just get the worst teammates of all time. And I'm not saying you can't get those in ranked, but like, for someone who doesn't have 4 other friends to play this with, how well I do fully depends on the teammates that I get and the opponents I'm matched up against. But anytime you're in public lobbies, I swear you just get the worst teammates of all time, which it's understandable. I mean, it's Fortnite. Most of the people playing this game are kids who have never touched a search and destroy type mode. So it makes sense for them to be in public lobbies. So I really think this mode, and as much as I hate to say it, I really think this mode might need some kind of skill-based matchmaking.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
At least to the slightest extent. I still love having opponents who are significantly better and significantly worse than me. I want that volatility, but I shouldn't be getting teammates that run around thinking this is like build mode or something. It isn't. And then another thing that I've had in public lobbies is games will start where one team only has like 3 players on it. And that's not fun. I don't want to verse a team with 3 players. Like that's why every single time I play this mode, you're gonna see me playing it in ranked, because the game doesn't start until the lobby is full, or at least like one away from full. The opponents are actually trying, because it's ranked. Like, they actually understand the game to much more of an extent than the people in public lobbies. And you literally cannot queue into matches that are in progress. Now, I think the solution to fix public lobbies is, first of all, you don't need to totally eliminate queuing into matches in progress, but just make it impossible to queue into a match after like half the game is already over. You should not be wasting your time loading into a match that is done. Also, you know, I already mentioned it, maybe the slightest amount of skill-based matchmaking, just so that you don't get those teammates that are like shooting at a wall when the enemy is like 5 feet to the left of that wall. I've seen some of the worst teammates of all time in this mode, and they should just have their own lobbies where they can improve on their own and figure out the mode on their own. And then please just wait for more people to start. There should almost never be a scenario where you're starting with 3 people on one team and 5 on the other. It's like more acceptable if you just like switched one to the other team and started with 4 and 4. That would be perfect for balancing. Now, moving on to another, it's a very minor issue with Ballistic, and it's something that it's more just personal preference, and I don't even really care that it is the way it is, but it's just the way the rounds are. I mean, it's like you defend for 6 rounds in a row, and then you attack for 6 rounds in a row, but also it's like 1st to 7 wins. So if you like queue up against a bad team, all you get to do is defend for 6 rounds and win all those rounds, and then win 1 attacking round, and that's it. The game's over. Now, I don't know if every Call of Duty game is like this, but I know some of the ones I've played Search and Destroy in, you will switch sides every single round, and I just love that system so much more. It means even in a shutout game that's like 7-0, you still get to play both sides. You still get to attack and defend. I actually just think it's so boring when you go against bad opponents and you just defend the whole time, or you just attack the whole time. But I mean, that's something I could deal with, because if you get a close game where it's like 6 to 7, then that's not really an issue. You will have attacked and defended plenty, but it's just something that would make this mode that much better if they would just switch it to every other round where you attack and then defend and just keep going back and forth. And then another issue with this mode, it kind of goes back to the first point with just the guns being so bizarre. I mean, some of them will literally tickle, right? But almost all of the guns have the capacity to like one-shot headshot, and I am all for high headshot multipliers in games. I think it adds a whole skill aspect, but with these guns with this massive recoil, it just feels like chance, and if you get headshotted, your fight's over before you can even think about it. And like, if the other player is consistently hitting headshots, good on them, they're very skilled. But in most cases, when you're just spraying an AR, it's just whoever gets a lucky headshot instantly wins. Like I said, I guess it's like that in other games, but the fact that they can one-shot you at full health is absurd. If you just get shot at and you don't know where the enemy is, you have no time to react. Now, I have always been the kind of person to prefer higher time to kill Call of Duty games, but even the lowest time to kill Call of Duty games gave you time to react, and this just doesn't. Now, one thing I think would be really great in this mode is some kind of stim pack, or heck, if you want to go Fortnite style, mini shields or bandages. I don't want the healing to be too over the top. What I would like is like another utility gadget, sort of like smoke bombs or flashbangs, where you can only get like 2 of them. Say you get like 2 healing packs, 2 stim packs, you just use them, like pop them for a second, and it gives you like 50 health. I think that would make this mode a whole lot more playable, instead of just getting out of a fight on like 8 HP and then just getting tickled to death by someone who you can't even react to. And I guess, I'm sure if any of you played Call of Duty Search and Destroy, you'll see that's probably where a lot of my points are coming from. But really, I've given CSGO a bit of a chance. I've played a little bit of Valorant, and I played a whole lot of Call of Duty. So obviously, if a game is more similar to Call of Duty, I'm gonna like it more. And I really just don't think this slow pace works for Fortnite. Fortnite's a fast game. It always has been and always will be. And I think trying to slow it down artificially just by copying CSGO or Valorant it's just not right. I don't know what I just ranted about. Anyways, guys, I could keep going forever on this topic. Clearly, Ballistic needs a bit of work to make me truly love it. And I'd just like to say, I still have some good fun in Ballistic, especially when playing with friends. And that's why I'm so passionate about this video, is because I want to see it succeed. But I think in its current state, it's not something I see myself playing very much. At least not as much as I could be if it did a few of the things that I mentioned in this video. So let me know down below, how do you feel about the new Ballistic mode? Also, should I do another video like this again in the future? And if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and use code JustAverage in the item shop. And I'll see you guys in the next one. That was a generational fumble, and I was doing so good in the beginning of that game. Look at me. Oh yeah, that guy had 0 kills. Come on. I need a real team. I gotta play this with some friends.